Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome, and this meeting is now called to order. The roll call has been taken by the clerk. Just to remind everyone about the rules of procedure, this meeting is being held in a hybrid format in accordance with Article 18 of the city's procedural bylaw. Staff and delegates participating virtually are reminded to keep their video and microphones off until requested by the chair or members of the committee. All cameras for virtual committee members shall remain on to ensure quorum. All members of the committee will vote by a physical show of hands. Please leave your hand raised until the chair has determined the result of the vote. In the event of a connection or service interruption that occurs that affects quorum, you may recess the meeting for up to 15 minutes to regain quorum. If quorum is not achieved, the meeting will be adjourned. And before we get into the rest of the meeting this evening, we need to note that a longtime member of the committee will be leaving us. They have submitted their resignation letter as of June 1st. So we want to thank Rob Adlam there for his many years of commitment to the Heritage Committee. Rob, do you remember how long you have been on the Heritage Committee for?
I think it's approaching 14 years.
Yeah, so I would say Rob was probably, maybe Rob and Bev maybe are the only people that were here when I first started, and Lise, because Lise has now joined us. Those three were probably the only three members who were on the Heritage Committee when I joined back in 2017. So Rob, thanks for your commitment. Thanks for supporting the industrial heritage and everything that you've brought to the Heritage Committee over the years. We definitely appreciate it, and we'll be slightly lost without your words of wisdom from time to time. So thank you for your commitment and your volunteer work to the city.
Thank you.
So moving on, item number 2 is declarations of conflicts of interest. Does anyone have a conflict with anything on the agenda? Perfect, seeing none. There are no presentations and delegations. So we'll move right on to our deferral from last month. Patrick, do you want to speak to this for a bit?
Through you, Chair, I don't have any, additional comments. I just, again, to remind the committee members, our facilities team, who had previously got a heritage permit for work at the Waddington Crypt and Greenwood Cemetery, was looking to replace the approval for a window with a opaque panel. I believe staff from facilities are attending the meeting and can speak to, some of the questions the committee raised at the last meeting. Also, I'll defer to Amanda Anderson, who's the project manager for that.
Okay. Amanda, do you want to share any tidbits maybe from what we talked about last time?
Yeah, through the chair. Good evening. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm a project management specialist with the Facilities Capital Development in Engineering Services Department. So I'm the main lead on this project. Patrick did forward the 2 comments that had come up, so I'll just address those. So the first one was, the question was, why are we not bricking in the window opening to make it more secure, and depending upon how the copper is affixed to the wood, more waterproof. So we're really trying to stick to and preserve the original heritage components on the building. So we feel that bricking it in will really take away from that. We also will be designing the window to make sure that it's as watertight as bricking it in would be. And then the second question that came up was why we were using copper as opposed to like an aluminum or another steel, because the copper is very valuable. Someone may attempt to steal the copper off of the wooden panel. So Jamie Robertson is also online at the moment. He's the contractor who is doing the repair. So I have consulted with him as well, and he said that comparing the copper to black steel or aluminum is really not that much more expensive. And again, keeping with the heritage aspects of the building, the rest of the building does have copper components to it, as well as the door will as well. So we really do want to keep it the same. The copper will be scored and then painted, and I mean it'll be subject to the maintenance as anything else. But the wood panel behind will be protected well enough that it won't see any moisture. And when comparing the copper to the aluminum doesn't last as long, and it doesn't react that well with moisture. As well, when you're installing aluminum as close to the masonry as it will be, it won't hold up as well as the copper as well. Now the copper will be in behind black bars. So, I mean, if someone even knows that that's copper, it's going to be a feat just to try to get the copper off anyway, because it will be behind the bars. So that's all I have. Hopefully that answers your questions, but please feel free to ask any questions.
Yeah, thanks Amanda for that update. I appreciate it. Do any members of the committee have any other questions for either Patrick or Amanda? I think Amanda did a great job at answering our questions. Okay, so then we have a motion that this be received and that it be approved. Would anyone like to make that motion or any other motion? I see Councillor Samuel, seconded by Capoli, Mara.
It's gonna be one of those days.
Yeah, it might be one of those days.
You can, yeah.
Okay, any other questions or comments before I call the vote?
Through you, Chair, forgive the intrusion. I might just want to recommend that the resolution be amended. So the resolution before you that's on the floor would say that the details in my staff report, which I guess we want to make sure we are approving the copper. You're all good with that. So then that can be the resolution you pass. If we made any changes, we need to tweak it. Sorry, had a bit of a moment there. So we can proceed. We can proceed, but if we would have introduced an amendment for you, had there been a change, I apologize.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Has there been a change? Oh,
There
No,
hasn't.
no,
that's
I
right.
apologize. I was working on the language and then in my head, as I realized, it took a moment to load.
That's what it was.
Sorry. One of those
All
days.
good.
Perfect.
All there.
Any other questions or comments?
Totally on camera.
It's all recorded.
And set a weird name. Say like Capdelia or yeah, that one. Is that? Is there another committee member who maybe just joined? Oh, Denise? Denise, did you have a question?
She said we'll be rejoining them.
Oh,
There
there we go. Oh, there's Denise. Hi, Denise. Sorry, did you have a question?
No, it sent me a thing to like become the panelist and then it restarted, so. It's
Okay.
fine.
Sorry about that confusion. You didn't have any questions about this application then? No? Okay, perfect. I'll call the vote then. All those in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Seeing none, I declare that carried. Thank you very much. Now move on to consent items. We had minutes in our agenda package from our last meeting. Anyone have any errors or omissions that they spotted that need to be fixed? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Dan Brown, yes, seconded. Second by Lise. Is that a second, Lise? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Wow, no resolutions, no notices of motion. So we don't have much to discuss. We just had a reminder, the Heritage Joint Heritage Committee meeting on June 5th. For those of us who signed up to go to that, your deadline's already passed. So if you want to register And then our meeting next month will be our last meeting before the summer kind of break. And Sandra will be going to Gravenhurst as well in between that. So we'll have a very busy kind of last meeting before the summer. And hopefully I won't have to call a special meeting in August in order to deal with some other things. But that being said, next meeting will be the last meeting before the summer break. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, great. Hey, thanks for the quickest Heritage Committee meeting ever.
Good night, everybody.
I just want to let everyone know.